So yesterday, for our Thanksgiving post, Ernest gave thanks to Echo, incredibly important character to the story that is Arcane. Honestly, he's like the MVP, pretty much. But my favorite character, equally as important, not necessarily in the way everything plays out, but she's just an incredible character with an incredible arc, and I just love her so much. And that is Jinx, as you can see behind me here. Now, I am going to be getting into spoilers, so spoiler warning, because I'm going to be talking about Season 2 for sure, and how things left off. And yeah, we got to talk about this girl's journey, man. She's incredible. I love her. And yes, her story's filled with a lot of tragedy, but I do think, like a few others, that there is some hope to be found in it. So to start off, we do find Jinx at the beginning of this series kind of just wandering around aimlessly. She doesn't really know what to do. She's just kind of barely existing. She's surviving and whatnot, but she's like wearing her hood. She's in hiding. Granted, she's in the same hideout she's always been in, but like she's been in contact with nobody. And we have her at the beginning of this series run into Isha, who ends up making a big impact for her, and then rejoining with Sevica, who I love their friendship so much. It's a little unfortunate, one little gripe about the final season, that when we get to the final batch of episodes, like Sevica just doesn't have voice lines. Like she shows up to help with the fight and whatnot. We never get any moment of like how Jinx convinced her to join the fight or anything like that. Because anytime these two were on the screen together, I loved it. They had great banter, great chemistry, and they were awesome. And that add Isha into the fold makes it even fucking better. And speaking of Isha, what an important character. What an impactful character. We do not have her for a long time, but damn it, we're not going to forget her. Her relationship with Jinx is where Jinx's humanity really comes into the fold. They have like this sisterly best friend kind of bond. There's even like a slight mother element to it where it's the first time you really see Jinx care about somebody. And through her, she starts to remember who Powder was, her old self. And then I think through this, we get the growth of Jinx realizing, though you may be somebody different now, you don't get here without who you were. And we get the fusion of Powder and Jinx as one sole person. And I absolutely love it. Because from the moment she starts even giving a damn about Isha, she's a completely different person. She is an adult. Because that first season, she did have some tantrums, obviously a lot to work through. And she still does, but damn it, what she goes through and what she experiences and grows into with her experience with Isha is just, it's so special. And then you get to the point where Vander's added into the mix. This is where you really see Jinx as just a grown person, because she didn't have to go reach out to Vi and bring her into the fold here, but she does. She not only risks herself, because Vi wants to kill her at this point, but she gets her, takes her over to meet Vander, and then we get this beautiful shot that absolutely devastated me. And they add in Isha, who just hops in there, and oh my god, how precious. But unfortunately, it's a show about tragedy, and we do lose Vander and Isha together, and we do get a flash of these beautiful moments that obviously meant a lot to Isha, but you have to know that they meant a lot to Jinx as well. And this understandably brings our girl to a breaking point where she's just ready to end it. And I can't blame her. Not at all. But this is where, we talked about him yesterday, Echo, the MVP, the GOAT, really comes into play. Because from Echo's exchanges with Powder in that alternate timeline, he is reminded of both who Powder is as well as who he really is. Because his life has sucked. All due respect, it's just been an uphill fight that has led nowhere. And I understand feeling defeated after that, but after his time with Powder and then coming back to our timeline, he has hope like reignited inside of him. And what does he do with that? He passes it on to our girl, Jinx, because he convinces her instead, because she goes from about to end things to literally joining a huge fight. And that's just like, if you've ever been that low, like it's hard to get out of bed at that point. But here we are, Echo doing the impossible as he always does. And he manages to motivate her to get her to join the fray. And this is when we get the now iconic image of Jinx with her awesome hood, her ship, and everything. The entrance is so thematic. It's awesome. She's so fucking cool. And this is Jinx. This is who she, like her full embodiment. This is her final form. Hopefully not. We'll get into that later. But we get her here. She joins the fight. She immediately goes to help Vi against fully controlled Warwick Vander. And oh my god. And you see her saying things that she would never say before. Saying things like, you don't get it, sis. I'm always with you, even when we're worlds apart. Being so supportive and loving with her sister. I absolutely loved it. And I think it really showcases not only that Echo really made a change in her, but she is just able to let loose with more of her emotion rather than just keep it all bottled in, and it just works out in such a great way for her character. And then that does lead us, unfortunately, now to the end. This is where Jinx does sacrifice herself to save Vi from Vander. Very tragic, heartbreaking. It was so hard to watch. Some people do believe she is alive. Some people believe she's dead. I do think there's reason for both. And I don't think one necessarily hurts her character arc over the other or anything like that. This ultimately does show that she cared for her sister, which we already knew, but this showed the lengths that she was willing to go to and just her willingness to really be there for her sister and do some good and help her. Now, in terms of the theory, you've probably seen this image here before if you've been watching all the conspiracy theories, that little purple blurb at the top right, my right, at the top there is Jinx using her blink ability to get away from the explosion. And I do think that's a loose piece of evidence. Granted, this is an animation studio that doesn't do anything by accident. But it is like the first of many things to look at for this. Because literally the final shot of the show is a skyship flying away, which does mirror the very first episode where we do see Powder saying, I'm going to fly away on those one day. And that is, before even that, we do have Caitlyn looking at the monkey bomb, as well as some blueprints for where everything took place, seemingly indicating that she could have gotten away, essentially. Because you do see Caitlyn smirk about it, and I do think at the very least Caitlyn believes she got away. Because why not? Every time Caitlyn tried to kill Jinx, she still survived. Why would she think this would be it? And honestly, if that's not enough, I do think there is another indicator that maybe she's still kicking.
Actually dead. We don't know.
Who knows? You might.
We're gonna leave that open to interpretation.
So yeah, I don't think there's really much reason to react that way, unless there's something cheeky going on. And yeah, I understand that doesn't 100% prove anything, but I do think it is one of many pieces of evidence that our girl could still be kicking. And here, I love this art. That is the person who drew this, listed there. Go check his Twitter profile out. I love this portrait of her just going out on that skyship, living her best life. Maybe not best life, going towards whatever that could be. And I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful that we will see her again. I don't think it's going to be in the next show or anything. And obviously, I don't think she's going to ever be the main character again. But I would love to see her again, because I do think there's more stories you can tell with her. And of course, I want to see another Vi and Jinx hug. But this character is incredibly important to me. She's now one of my favorite characters just in fiction. And I do not play League. I'm not going to. But I love this. This series is so good. The way this ended off was great, though a few things skipped out a little bit. But overall, where everyone ended up, the arcs they went on, absolutely powerful. And Jinx will always remember her, whether she comes back or not.